This Black Friday, instead of thinking about how much money you can spend, think about how much money you can save by self-hosting your own applications. Now, I'm going to be talking about Coolify here, and Coolify lets you spin up servers and host your own applications, giving you full control of the data, ownership, the actual structure of your content, and you're limited only by your server resources. So we're going to be spinning up a server, installing Coolify, getting an application on the server, and just taking it from there, so you can kind of get the feel for how to get your app self-hosted for you or your clients. And that's going to be what we're going to be looking at. So let's jump into it. Coolify's got a lot of great documentation. Again, you can cloud host this for $5 a month, and you don't have to worry about backups or maintenance or anything like that. Or you can self-host it on your own VPS. And we're going to look at how to do the self-hosted in just a minute. But if you look at the Coolify docs, you can see there's lots of different things in here. One thing that Coolify has is like one-click installs for a bunch of different things, right? So you can look at all the various application, you can look at the services they have, you can one-click install Activepieces, AppSmith, DocuSeal, Directus, any of these things you can basically one-click install. It's going to give you the application itself. It's going to give you a database if it requires that, and you can all self-host it. And so what that looks like is, once you have your Coolify installed, you can come here and you can decide if you want to deploy from your GitHub or from a public repository. You can create a Docker compose file. You can add databases to that as needed. And then down below here, we've got all the different services that allow you to basically one-click install. It's going to give you an application that's up and running in just a few short minutes. So, you can self-host all these different things, from calendars to budgeting to document signing. You can install Classic Press. You can also search up here at the top for, you can install WordPress with or without databases or different types of databases. You can install other CMS like Ghost. You can install Directus with or without a Postgres database, right? You can install Strapi. You can install any other CMS in here, that anything that you can install in a Docker, you're good to go. If you want to self-host like a URL shortening service, there's Link. It lets you self-host that. If you want to, I don't know, what else do they have in here? They got so many things in here, and honestly, more get added every week. So just keep an eye. This list has grown, I don't know, double since I started using this like 2 months ago. In fact, all these broken images are all new services that are not quite set up correctly, it looks like. But you get Supabase, you can do 20, CRM, you can basically install anything you want in one click. Very easy to do. Now, let's talk about how to actually do it, right? So we have, our various documentation here. I can click self-hosting, and all you need really is a VPS, and then you just install this curl command on the VPS, and you're good to go. So let's do just that. All right, I'm going to go to, well, first I'll shout out Racknerd. If you are in the market for a new VPS for Black Friday, they have pretty insane deals here. These prices are per year, and it renews at this same price year after year after year. So if you want to get a $27 per year 3 GB RAM, 2 CPU VPS, you can do that. If you need a 5 GB 4 CPU, you can get that for under $5 per month, paid annually. So it's a really fantastic deal. Shout out to Racknerd. I've got a bunch of servers with them that I use for testing stuff out. But in this one, I'm going to be using Hetzner. Hetzner's a super reliable host as well. Very affordable pricing, pretty performant stuff. So let's just spin up a server right now. I will show really quickly, if you click on the US ones, if you're in the US, and you click on the shared CPU, you get a somewhat limited list, although these are, very affordable, right? You get 8 GB RAM and 4 CPU for 13 euros per month. Very affordable. But if I go up and select a different region here, I select like Helsinki, I can see I have other options here. I have the CX32, right? So that's like the same specs, 4 CPU, 8 GB of RAM for only 6 euros a month. So very affordable. That's going to be more than enough to handle a lot of different applications. You can get by with the smallest plan on some things, but your server is going to max out when you're spinning up applications. So, you can get by. It really depends on what you want to run. If you're running something like Supabase, that's got a ton of different pieces to it that need to run. But if you're running something like PocketBase, that's got one basic file that it's running, right? So it's very performant depending on what you want to do. So anyway, I'm going to pick this big beefy server, €6 a month, and I do have the IP4 checked here, and I've already added an SSH key. If you need to figure out how to do that, there's plenty of other videos. Let me know in the comments if you want to understand how to do that. But basically, I'm just going to create and buy, and we'll get started on deploying Coolify on our new server. So this is going to spin up really quick. Hetzner is very quick at provisioning servers. We're not doing any edits. You've been on this channel before, probably. We're just going to go through it together. All right, so I'm going to copy this IP address, and we'll probably be good to go. So first of all, I'm going to open up my instructions here on how to install Coolify. This, you basically just run this SSH command. You need to, wherever you've installed your SSH key on your local computer, that's where I have mine. And then we're just going to do root access to that IP address, right? So I'll copy this and I will open up SSH and I can paste this right in and I can run that, and that'll basically install the SSH on our server with root access there. So I'll hit install and it's saying, okay, it doesn't recognize it yet. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting this error because I've already installed on this server because I just had to redo the video. So I need to redo the keygen, and I should be able to paste that in and remove it, and then open up my SSH command again. And I should be able to get in now. Now it's going to ask me, right, do you recognize this? I'll say yes. We've added it to the list of known hosts. All right, so now we're good to go. We are in the server. We can see some of the resources here, right? There's our 80 gigs of RAM. There's our IP4, etc. So all that good stuff. So let's open this up. And now I can just do this curl command. And let's see if I can actually paste. There we go. And hit enter. And that's going to do my Coolify install. And this will take just a minute or two to install all the dependencies and all the different packages. Doesn't take too long. I will go ahead and pause here and resume. Just going to unpause here really quick as it's installing, because that's pretty fun. Coolify has some fun, like, I don't know, humorous jokes sprinkled throughout here. So, it keeps you occupied while this is installing. We've got some kind of story about, I don't know. I don't even know what this is. But... All right, so basically it's doing all my dependencies. There's another little humorous thing. If Bill Gates had a dime every time Windows crashed, oh wait, he does. That's funny. So we're just gonna go through this installation here. It's gonna keep spinning up, doing all my dependencies. You get the idea. Just wait. All right, so it says Coolify is installed successfully. It's just gonna do I think a server restart. And there we go. Congratulations, our instance is ready to use. So I can access the Coolify dashboard by just going to this IP address here. So if I open this, we should see our Coolify account. So it'll let us know that we have, we're giving root access here. I'll just enter some info here and we will be underway. So I'll just hit register. We have our account. You can do onboarding if you want. It'll walk you through a couple of the steps. It's pretty simple. I'm just going to skip it because I've done this before. And there we have it. We have our Coolify application accessible over this IP address. A couple things we can do to get started is to come in here, and I'm going to add a domain. I'm just going to add a top level domain. You can add whatever. You can add a subdomain if you want. But here is Coolify demo. And that domain, I'm going to make sure I grab the IP and go back to my Cloudflare where I can edit this, and I will paste that in there. That's already set up from the time before when I had to restart this demo. So that should be good to go. And then I'll come back to Coolify and I will save the settings. Save. And hopefully that will be accessible soon. But basically you have this nice dashboard. You have, shared environment variables that can be team, project, or environment wide. You can store your private keys. You can store your API tokens. All this nice stuff. You can set up teams, and you have terminal access. You have tags that you can categorize your products and projects, right? So if you wanted to, you can add additional servers to this now. We just have this same server that we're running both the Coolify application as well as all of our apps. But let's just get started with a project because that's going to be where you spend most of your time. Let's just add a project called demos. Right? You can give a little description. You can also create different environments, right? It's going to create a production environment for me by default, but I can see here now I have a environment, right? So I have production. If I wanted to add a staging one, I could. But in our production, now we can add resources. So now we have all those different resources available here. Again, we could do our GitHub connections. We could do Docker installs. Let's just install Activepieces. I like Activepieces a lot. You can self-host your own data, so you don't have to have any kind of limits on the version that you're running. So I can just click on this, and once I do, it'll take me to the thing, the application details, basically. And what this is saying is, I can rename my application name here, and the services that come with it are the actual Activepieces application, and then there's a database, a Postgres database, and Redis running to give you all the functionality that you need. So I will save this, and I will deploy this, and this will create a Docker instance. It's going to pull all the data from the GitHub for Activepieces, and then it's going to install it. Install any dependencies. You can see the progress here. It's going pretty quick. It's installing everything, extracting all the different pieces and whatnot. So that is going on in the background. I'm not sure if you can actually close this. I always just keep it open in case it takes longer. But in any case, that is going to start running, and we should be. I don't know. Is this doing a pull on every single piece? Looks like it might be. That's all right. We'll just stick around. But the benefit of something like this is that you can spin up applications. You can spin up even WordPress. You can spin up different CMS to try out, and you can self-host this. So it's going to be GDPR compliant. You can pull in your projects from GitHub, and unlike Vercel, that's going to charge you a bunch of money potentially every month, or Netlify or Heroku, you get basically all your application data under your own control, right? So now it's done all the installation of the containers, then it does the database, then it does Redis, and now it's done. It's saying it's starting, and it started. So if I close out of here, we will see that these are spinning up now that they're green, right? So that they're kind of in process of spinning up, right? I can come up here to my quick links, and if I click on this, you can see that we have Activepieces. I think we have the logo. Let's see, how do we log in? Might still be spinning up. So I'll just give it a moment to do that, and then I will come back to my settings, and we have that as our instance domain. We should be able to go to projects, demos, see Activepieces, and the link is still set to this temporary URL, right? So what I need to do is come into my server here and click on my my only server that I have connected, and let's add a wildcard domain. Let's just do https coolify.tealfig.com. And so that means I'll be able to install everything on a subdomain of a subdomain, which is pretty cool. So if you don't want to use your top level domain, you can still do that. I'll save that. And that's our wildcard domain. Now I need to make sure that I grab the IP address here, and I'll create a wildcard.coolify and paste that in there. And that should be able to now be reached via the application. So we'll come back to here. Let's refresh this. Might need to restart our server. Let's check the project demo Activepieces, and still pulling in the old domain. Let's just hit restart on that. We'll see if this gives us the correct URL. It's going to be pretty quick. It doesn't need to do any pulling and installing again. It's just going to restart all the services. Right, so that's restarting. And let's also go to our server. We might need, I don't know if we need to restart the server because we've added this wildcard domain. That might need to happen. We'll see. We will see. Go to our demos. Well, it's still on this temporary domain, but yeah, there we've got Activepieces. I can install this if I could spell, right? Let's just install that and sign up. And here we have our instance of Activepieces. It looks like it's good to go. You can create a new flow. Easy. All right. So what other things can we install in here? Let's just do a quick server restart here because it might need to pick up this wildcard domain. So I'll restart this real quick. And what other things can we do? Okay, so that's gonna restart the server. Hopefully add my correct domain to my applications, and that looks like it's done. All right, so if I go back to projects and let's just add a new project, or let's just go to demos again. We'll add a new resource within here. Let's say we want to install something like PocketBase. All right, so I can install that, and we'll just change the service name there to save it. And I will hit, yeah, so I can see here now it's got my correct application in here. So now I'm able to just change this top level one. So I could just do like PocketBase demo, something like that. And then when I click deploy, should be good to go. PocketBase is a very small app. You can see it's going to be done almost instantly. It's done. All right, so I've installed another application that's going to spin up, and now it's green. It's sort of initializing everything. And now when I click links, I can see my fully qualified domain name here, right? So I can go to that. And that might take a second to still deploy. I'll just double check that we have Activepieces. It should have changed my domain here as well. Looks like it didn't. I might need to change it here to like activepieces.coolify.tealfig.com. And if I save that, hopefully that works. I can hit restart. That'll spin up. Let's go back to our PocketBase install. Not seeing it in here yet. It might just take another minute to install everything. That's good. That should be good to go. Let's spin up another one while we're here, while we're waiting for that. What other application can we do? There's so many different things in here, right? You can do almost anything you want. There's Drupal. You can get appointment scheduler. You can host Firefox, apparently. You can host Formbricks. You can host, oh man, so many different things in here. So many things. I definitely think it's worth checking out to see how you can learn things about how to host and connect applications together, but potentially save some money and also maintain control of your own data, right? So you can host your own media server. You can get Jitsi for meeting apps and stuff like that. So we could do something like the URL shortener, right? If you want, instead of having to pay for that, I could just self-host this. So let's just throw that in here, and it's gonna tell me that I can rename this, all that good stuff. I can come here, change the domain name, right? Get rid of that sort of auto-generated thing. It's just, and then I can just again hit deploy. It's gonna go pull in all that data from wherever the project's stored, and it's going to install it in a Docker for me. So it is, it's going to be pretty quick. It's not a huge application, so just see how long that takes. While that's installing, I'll come back here, and it doesn't seem like this is working correctly. So let me see. This might need to be turned off. Not sure. Let's just turn SSL off, I guess, for the time being. And we'll come back here. Our URL shortener is installed. Let's check that out. That looks like it's installed correctly. And I'm not sure which one's the actual live one. Let's see. That looks correct. So we are hosted here. We will start that. You can start shortening your URLs right there. And it's hosted on my own servers. Very cool. Save your money on certain tools, I think is a good philosophy. I mean, you don't want to get bogged down in the self-host world if it's too much of a technical loop or hoop to jump through. But I think there's a lot of great stuff you can do here in terms of self-hosting, and you'll learn a good amount about how to connect things up. You can go as deep as you want. I just did some easy one-click installs, but you can also do load balancing and balance all these things between different servers. You can have one server for your build server, another one for your production. A lot of different options to choose from. So, and I don't know why that Pocket Base is not working. Anyway, That's the gist of it. This says it's working. PocketBase demo. Doesn't seem to be working. So I think I just needed to. So now if I go to here, you can see I am getting some data and I should be able to create an account. All right, so we do have our other application running now. If I could type. Right, so we do have this hosted with SSL now on our demo domain here, right? So I can start adding items in here, and we're hosting PocketBase, right? So hopefully you get the idea that it's pretty easy to just come in here and add new things, right? So I've already got 3 new applications. Let's add, I don't know, what else can we add? Oh, so many different things, so many different things. Well, let's just add WordPress. All right, we can choose MySQL or MariaDB. Let's just get a MariaDB. When I click on that, you'll see like comes with actually the application of WordPress, right? And I can change this to, I actually want it to say, save that and change that here. And I'll just hit deploy. It should be good to go, right? So that'll spin up, an install of WordPress for me in a Docker container. Again, should be pretty quick. It's going to pull in the latest version of WordPress. Should be go. This doesn't take too long. Be pretty darn quick. See how long. Done the pulling and installing, created the container. So good to go. I will give it a second to get its legs under it. But again, there's our preview link, or well, that's our final link, right? But you can change your various URLs here. But open this. Let's see. I don't have SSL. If I remove SSL, I have SSL in here. I don't actually have it on. Let me put that back on. Let's see if this works. Save. Restart it. And the restart usually is pretty darn fast. Okay, so hopefully I can go here and page not. Well, that's fun. That's always. Might take a sec. There we go. So it's a completely blank install, right? Doesn't even have the stuff installed yet. So uh just do demo video. Firm use of week. Okay. All right. So hit install. And it should be good to go. Yep, sure enough. There we go. There's our WordPress install, totally blank on our subdomain. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show with Coolify. It's not just for non-WordPress stuff. You can also do WordPress stuff on here. But so many different options that you could make hours and hours of content on how to set this up and properly load balance and set up firewalls and all that stuff. But in terms of getting an application up and running, pretty quick. We got 4 applications installed in more or less one click. The only real headaches that, you know, we got through are just like SSL mismatch, propagation of the actual applications, but all in all, pretty darn fast. You can make new server resources, add your own Git repo. You can compose directly from a custom Docker image too. So I mean, that's basically what everything down below is doing as well. But if you want to set custom configurations on there, you can do. But yeah, you've got your databases, you've got various backends, different types of SaaS environments, calendars, event scheduling, whatever the heck you want. The options are virtually limitless, and you can kind of get as deep into it as you want, or keep it pretty high level and just one click install a lot of this stuff. You can self post and save some money and learn something in the meantime. So anyway, let me know what you think. You like this kind of content? Is it useful? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one.